Right, hi guys, Luton here. Now, this should be no surprise to anyone, but it turns out that the COD4 Remaster is now being sold as a standalone. Now, I did talk about this back when this was released with Infinite. Obviously, I'm not a big COD player, but I was, and I loved COD4 when it was out, and Call of Duty used to be an amazing game. I think it's deteriorated and changed now, but really what this is about is not about that game specifically. It's about the way game producers, and to some extent developers sometimes, will treat the gaming audience with total apathy. And we know that whenever things like this happen, whenever you get bad DLCs, whenever you get bullshit season pass crap, the thing that everybody always says is, well, you got to vote with your wallet, vote with your wallet. Well, we've been saying that for 5 years. You know, I think the most important thing that people can really do is people like me, and I'm not putting myself on a pedestal and saying like, oh my god, you know, everybody listen to me. I'm just saying in general, you know, people within gaming journalism, people within gaming producers, whether it's on YouTube or Twitch, so long as people continue to have these kind of conversations, then hopefully that trickles down, that filters through to some people over time. Perhaps maybe we will start to see people more vote with their wallets, or at least over time make considerations to move away from a series. Maybe, I mean, we saw this with Battlefront, okay, with the next EA Battlefront. They've said, okay, it's not going to have like season passes and this kind of crap. It's a good thing. It does show, I do feel that overall, in the bigger picture, I think the trend is starting to happen. You know, we see it with microtransactions. It becomes such a negative with gamers that companies start to move away. Companies start to actually outright say, you know, as part of their release, we're not going to do this. You see that with microtransactions now. It got such negative connotations now to have microtransactions in a game because it is obviously bullshit. No matter how people talk about aesthetics, you know, aesthetics to a degree are still fine, but we know beyond that it's crap. And when you see companies coming out and saying right from the word go, hey, we're not going to do this, that's a pretty good sign, because it shows that they understand, hey, I can actually get some positive influence, some positive messages coming through to my game by making these kind of statements. That's the kind of stuff we need to have happen with what happened with Infinite and COD4 Remastered, where they basically were like, okay, if you want COD4 Remastered, and we know a lot of people want this, we're going to bundle and package that with our game, which we know a lot of people are not so interested in now, because it's been, you know, it's received less acclaim over time, I guess. Although I think it's worth pointing out, despite a lot of the negativity that COD gets, it still has pretty big sales. Do you know what I mean? So it's not as if that franchise is dying, which to a degree makes this all the more egregious, because it's like, okay, look, it's not like their series is dying completely despite what people say, and then they do this as well, and that really is a slap in the face. You know, that's like, hey look, we could have given the game, we could have given it free. You know, we could have given it, imagine that. Imagine the goodwill you would get from that by saying like, hey, we're going to release this game, and then by the way, you get this remastered free, the game you love for years. It's back and you get it for free. Imagine the goodwill there. It would have been immense. And I think sometimes it's a lot of short-sightedness. I think it's a lot of false economy, where they think, okay, short-term we make this gain, but then long-term it creates such a pissed-off audience that it can end up being completely counterproductive. And so, yeah, now this week they say, okay, COD4 Remastered is going to come out as a standalone, initially on PS4 and then later PC and Xbox. And it's like, yeah, what a massive slap in the face. Remember, Infinite only came out in November 2016. So really, really, really not that long ago. Remember, if you wanted the version which came with Infinite and Remastered, you had to pay out something like 80 quid. It was like a lot of money. It was something around like 70 or 80 pounds to get both of them together. So no cheap game right there, you know, it's a lot of money to pay out. And now they're going to sell it as a standalone barely 4 or 5 months later. It is total bullshit. It's kind of like when you have DLCs which get sold, you know, at a premium at release, and you know, and then later down the line they just go, oh yeah, we're going to give this to everybody for free. And it's like, it's such a slap in the face. Now, to a degree, whenever a DLC or something along these lines gets put out there for a price, and then later they drop that price or they put it for free, the thing that you always have to say is, well, okay, but you know, you were paying to play it early, you were paying to kind of play it before. But it does feel like, I always say that I think if that happens within inside of a 6-month period, I do feel like that's kind of crap, you know, and this is just on that border, you know, it's just like whatever it is, like 7 months pretty much or something like this. So they are literally just over the border of what I would deem to be not complete scammery. But nonetheless, you've got to feel pretty salty, like, if you paid out that money. And I had tweets coming back from people saying, yes, I'm pissed off, but was aware that I was going to be pissed off when I went into this anyway. So it seems, you know, like, some people just want it, and that's always the way it is. You know, if you want it, you're going to pay for it. It's the same way that you see the complete BS with Escape from Tarkov and their access to alpha and betas, and they're just like, oh yeah, you want access to our really hyped alphas and betas? Well, you're going to have to pay an absolute premium to do so, and even then, you're not guaranteed to get in. So it is a bit of a, you know, there's a lot of this stuff going around. Like I say, the only thing you can really do is continue to talk about it, continue to highlight it, just say, look, you know, companies are out there and they're fucking you over. That's basically all there is to it. It's crap. Really, you know, for just a remastered version of a game which has been around for ages, you shouldn't be expecting to pay a premium price. And pretty much, I think the price that they're going to be putting on this remaster is going to be something like 30 quid anyway. It's like they're making a you know, this isn't a brand new game. This game will not have had, like, a full development. And so why would they be putting that price tag on it? It is total bullshit. And people should be aware of it. So that's my video for today, guys. Tell me your thoughts about this, and I guess gaming industry and their approach to DLC season passes. You know how I think that season passes should not even be a thing now. I've talked about this endlessly. Let me just kind of sum that up. Basically, you know, there was a time where season passes seemed like a good deal, but now it's like, look, we've seen with multiple games now that they will sell you a season pass based on the fact that you're going to be playing this game for a year or something like this, but then they don't know how well their game is going to do. If the game comes out, the audience don't like that game, the audience drops off a cliff, then bang, you've just paid out for a load of stuff which there may not even be an audience to play. So the concept of season passes and paying for things that are potentially going to be like a year's worth of gaming down the line just makes zero sense anymore. They should revert back to the older style of DLC pricing, which is you put a DLC out through the year and people decide at that point in time, do I want to purchase in? And the only trouble with that is, as usual, is that I guess there's a fragmentation of the community, but there's different ways that you can deal with that. I'll probably talk about that another day. Anyway, that's where we are, guys. Tell me your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.